Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. It's Monday morning. I hope all of you had a great weekend. This recording will be out on YouTube as the weekly outlooks. Reminder to my YouTube friends. What we are going to do here is I'm going to show you my view of the charts for the day, the next couple of hours, the week ahead. Not all the charts that I'm going to show you for the week ahead is going to behave exactly the way I show you today. We are going to base what we see today by what we expect it to do based on what it had happened last week, right? Now, there are times when that will change because patterns might be more complex than normal. What we do is called wave analysis. Now, if that confuses you, and I understand that if you're not a wave analysis trader, that will confuse you. It does not mean it doesn't work. It just means you're confused with how it works. Now, you can go and watch a lot of my videos, and you will have an idea. You can join us live and have a good idea how this works, which means to join me live, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is send me a Skype message. I'll give you the details of how you can join our live sessions, right? Or how you can even join my group. So if you do want to do that, then just send me a Skype message. It's in the description. If you can't find the description, which would be strange, it's MANGAL 457. Send me a message and I'll give you that details. I do not have a website. I do not have a Instagram. I do not have Telegram. I do not have WhatsApp. I do not have any other channel where you can join. Send me a message on Skype and I'll give you the details. That's the only place you will have access to this group, where you will have communication with me to have access to the group, put it that way. That said, let's move on. So if you remember last week where we were showing gold and where gold is and what we think it can do, then as you would have seen, this was a flat we were looking for sell, right? And then we were looking how far that would go and whether it will consolidate. It was consolidating here now. In the big picture, I still think gold is downside, right? So in the big picture, gold is downside, but not totally downside because we're expecting a move down like this, after which we think it will still have to go up one more. And then the bigger downside can happen. So can this be the one that totally dropped? In rare cases, that happens. But most times, 80% to 90% of the time, you would get this pattern and it will go up. I've shown you like a million of those patterns if you've been following me for the last couple of years. So what we'll come back now is in the forum and see how we take advantage of that going down. That is why we're looking for sell setups. So the minute this hit the top there, we were looking for sell setups, looking for patterns that will create sell setups and go with them. This pattern, we were discussing that this morning, and I think it could be one of the two things. It's either a running flat or a channel. I'm more inclined to go with a running flat, which means we're looking for a sell setup here. And that is very, very important. We're looking for a setup to sell. What does that mean? That means if I don't get the setup and it drop, it goes without me. You may say, well, if you think it's going on, why not sell it? And that is where the most important thing in trading comes, because I was at a kind of a session where people were discussing trading, and most of the things spoken there is about trading psychology. It's 80% of the market, which I looked at and said, no, not, right? 80%, that's a thing everybody writes on the internet. I don't know why they write it, and other people read it and repeat it. I don't know why, but it has nothing to do with that. This is nonsense. That is pure nonsense, because the market, if you're a retail trader and you want to succeed in the market, it has to be rule-based. Make a big R, or you can write the full word, put it on top of your trading computer. And remember, if you want to be a successful retail trader, not investor, not someone like Warren Buffett who invests his money, but a retail trader, you have to be rule-based, because your trade is today or tomorrow or this week. Your trade is not 5 years from now. 5 years from now, you can do any shit you want. You can go and buy and sell anything, and you'll probably get back your money in 5 years. It will make the 5 years a wave, and you will get back your money, right? But you're not going to get back your money within the day if you're not rule-based. That is something we'll teach you when we do trade management. So what that means you have to exclude all the emotions you have in the market. Not exclude your emotions. You can't stop your emotions. You can't exclude. You can control your emotions, but you're excluding those emotions from the trade. I don't care if you're panicking, but if the trade does not read requirements for you to close it, you shouldn't close it. You can go panic in your bedroom somewhere else, but you will only close the trade when it reads the requirements to close it. or you will enter the trade when the requirements to enter is there. You can be very happy in a very nice mood and you think gold is going to drop 2,000 pips, but if you do not have a setup, you shouldn't sell it, right? And if you're rule-based like that, you're excluding the possibility of trading your emotions. You're going to have emotions. You cannot exclude emotions. You don't have emotions when you're dead. So saying something like it's 80% of your trading, that is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. It's misleading. I have emotions. I'm pretty happy right now. I'm just telling my traders how I had a great weekend. But that doesn't mean, hey, because I'm happy, let me go sell gold. Or let me go buy gold. It has to have the setup, the rules of what criteria I need to see before I decide this is a trade setup that I can enter. Right? And that means my emotions stay with me. It doesn't become 80% of my trading. I hope you guys get that, because if you don't get that, you'll be trading your emotions and you're likely going to fail. And there's a reason why everybody said trading 80% of what the guy said, 80% of trading emotion is your emotion, right? Psychology of the market. And guess how many percent of traders lose? Always. Ask any broker. Is there some correlation between these two? The people who trade their emotion and the people who lose. There's a big percentage of that. You keep doing that and you will lose. You will lose. Absolutely. So that said, let's move on. Dollar index. Dollar index still going up. Now, we have to keep an eye on what is going to happen here, because there's a lot of deep pullback. That doesn't mean it's going to, we see gold looks downside, right? At least a certain amount. So if dollar index is what is going to make the gold price go, right? The change of the dollar price. That means we'll probably come and break this top. If gold is going to move on its own, which means gold price will change value without the dollar changing value, dollar index could stay here and gold could still drop. And that is possible. It's not necessary that gold always moves with the dollar. The gold can have its own price increase or decrease, and the dollar can have its own volume increase. But most times it will move against the dollar, because we use dollar as a base to buy gold, right? We trade the gold dollar chart. We don't trade the gold punk chart. If you trade the gold punk chart and punk changes value, then you will see a change in that chart, right? Then the value of gold there. But the value of gold in terms of dollar will remain where it is. Because what you're trading actually is not gold. You're trading punk against the gold. So if punk changes value, then yes, everything that you trade against punk will change value. A lot of traders don't seem to understand that part of it. Because one guy was telling me, well, only if dollar change value, then gold is going to change value. And I'm like, no, not true. And he, for somehow, is very convinced that I'm stupid. I can see the look in his face that, what are you talking about? If dollar changes value, if dollar doesn't change value, gold doesn't change value. And I'm like, no, gold could drop or it could go up. It's its own thing. It could have its own value, and it definitely does. I could see the gold skyrocketing and dollar is just where it is. It's not changing its value. But if you're a trader and you don't know that, good luck. So with that said, let's move on. What we're going to be looking here for upside is a consolidation. Now, can this thing actually do this and then drop here and go back up? I think immediately you would see me think, okay, this is the running flat and we're going. That is a possibility, not necessarily going to happen, because we do have a small one here and there's a chance that this one belongs. That would be the running flat we're looking for. So if we get a setup to buy here, we will buy. I think it's making a small running flat for upside. I'll show you that. So I think this is making a small running flat for upside. This one is what I'm going to be looking at. Go back like this, come back here, and then this would be the perfect buy setup. This was the buy Friday. This would be the buy today. Now, can we buy this one? I think my traders immediately know you can take this. You can go with that trade in a 15 minutes or 5 minutes. And then you would be aware whether it's going to come back here before it goes. So if we're assuming that this running flat is going to happen, then the basis for most of the currencies we're looking for is to see something like this, similar, which means gold could drop, could pull back up, and then drop. Just be aware of that, right? Because this running flat seems incomplete to me. When you go to silver, silver is a very good example of that. So silver is much clearer. I will go with 1, 2, 3. And I think this is the impulse into it. So this was where we were trying to, this was the buy, but we had a sell setup on silver because we weren't buying silver. And if you bought it, you close to break even. So the way I see it is we're making a flat here. I don't think we're going to go deeper into this impulse because seems like we've found where the top of the flat is. This needs to come down a little more here, not very much more. And then we'll be looking for this one up. So I'll be looking for this up, something like that. After that, we will be looking for a sell setup at the top here to go. Can we buy this? Well, if we get a similar one like this, yes, we can buy it because we have an idea where it's going. It's not the best buy. It's pretty high risk trade because if it's a contracting flat, you need to know that and you need to get the hell out of it. Now, how would you know it's a contracting flat? That's a difficult one. Even I sometimes have problem identifying contracting flats. So I'm pretty sure you don't want to take that risk. Let it go up and then look for the sell. Now, you may say to me, what if it goes here? And there is a rule that we have to know when we can buy this move if this is going to happen. But it's not here. Here you can take it if you're a very aggressive trader. Like I said, if you can identify the possibility that it's becoming a contracting flat, you can take the trade. If you can't, then don't take the trade. Now, can this drop to the bottom? And this is all the correction. Let's say, can you look at this as a 1, 2, 3 contracting flat, and this is dropping? Remember, I just told you contracting flats are difficult to identify. Yes, that could be it. If that is going to be it, then this is what I want to see. I want to see this one make a flat here, or actually break this low and then make a flat. And that becomes my sell setup. There's a reason for that. Now, if we get it there, then we'll consider the sell. Now, if I have to sell this or I have to sell gold, when we get that small flag, I'll sell gold. I'll leave silver and sell gold. But let's say both of them drop without the flag and they go back up and I get a buy setup here and I get a buy setup on gold, I'll still buy gold. Because gold is a possible channel for upside. We'll show you that just now. Now, they can both do this. I'll prefer having this trade in gold rather than in silver. Because silver might just go back to the top here and drop. If gold is to do that, I'll get out of it. See? Now, when they get to the top here, if we get a sell setup here, then I'll sell both of them. Because both of them have the perfect sell structure. So, all of that can happen within today or within the week. Now, you want me to tell you what to do with gold. Like one guy said, can you make it simple? Tell us if we should sell gold or buy gold. And I was like, if it was that simple, my friend, you would be a billionaire. And I think that's the problem on YouTube is too many of these gurus are trying to make it too simple for you and you end up losing your account. Trading is not that simple. Sell this or buy that. Especially if you're a retail trader with a small account trading daily, you're trying to pull out a trade now. And if you don't understand the conditions and how that trade would go, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So that's it. Let's move on. So we're looking, I'll take this out. We're looking for a sell setup in general. So I'll leave it as a sell setup. Gold, I already explained to you. This could be a channel or running flat. I'm more inclined to the running flat. What that means? That means that it's going to come here. If it's a channel, it's just going to go back up like that. So like I said, if I get a buy setup here, I'm more inclined to buy this than the silver. If it is a running flat, it can break through this channel here. Now, unless I get a flag here, I wouldn't sell it because it could stop here and go back up. And then we will go with this as the end of the structure. This would be a small running flat, and this would, I will wait for a flag here to buy. We'll get a flag. They always make flag. So it's not a case of you wouldn't get one. You will get a flag here as well. Now, on the 5 minutes, yep, if you want to go to 5 minutes, but it's a possible running flat as well. For my traders, if you want to take the 5 minutes, it's okay. You have to take the risk. I'll probably put a bigger stop so that if it makes a flag here, you can get out, right? Or wait for the 15 minutes. It's going to happen. Sometimes you think it's not going to happen, and then look what happens here, right? So wait for that. This will be looking for a sell setup. Euro. Yep. So if you sold it, by rule, you should have closed that trade. I don't know if we want to put this as a possible running flat. It looks like a running flat to me, or if you want to put them as two separate flats. We could do both. And put an entry order to sell under the low. Now, if this becomes a channel, which is possible, right? Which means you can see they pull back, they drop, they pull back, they drop, they start to pull back. Just wait for it to drop, close the trade, and walk out of it. Right? But for now, it's downside. So that's a sell setup. Pound, it's incomplete. So which is why I think euro might pull back. Just be careful if you're taking it. If it starts to make a flag, you go with the flag. Because I can see pound having the similar one like silver, I think, right? Where this is incomplete. This has to come here. Go back up. Make this flat because you can see the 1, 2, 3 there clearly. Make this flat. Go back up. Make this flat. go for the sell. Now, we may buy that one. If we get a buy setup, we'll take it. So when it drops, if it makes a buy setup, go with it. Right? You want it to come and break this low. Now, that is going to be pretty much at the bottom here, which we know is a flat. But we've seen this case where you have the big flat here, and then this one goes back really deep simply because this move is huge, right? This is a big correction. So this sometimes either go back there and make another flag and go make another flag and go end up at the top, or like this one, it went back way to the top. See, this one was almost at the bottom. And we thought it would come here. I think all of you remember when we were expecting it to go there and then drop, and it went there and dropped. So if they repeat the same thing, good. What if this is all the correction? And we come here and we do this. We want this trade. So if we're going to counter buy these flags, let's say gold, silver, all of them have the same thing, euro have the same thing, we're going to counter buy, the pound would be the best. So in the London session, this might happen by the time the London session comes live. If we're going to look for a counter buy, we'll be buying the pound rather than buying anything else. All of them are sell setups. Look for a sell setup, right? We're looking for a sell setup. They all have sell setups in them. But if we're going to counter buy this for this next C wave up, we'll go with the pound. Potentially the pound can still go up. So right now it's downside. The downside is limited. You don't have a lot. From here to here is only about 19 pips, not worth even trading, even if you get the setup. But on the way up, the move is how much? The full move is 49. If we can get a flag anywhere there for the upside, even if it's after 20 pips, you get a flag, you still have 29 to go or more. And the chances are that 29 becomes 129. Aussie, sell setup, no questions. We had a sell setup here, it didn't tag, and you can put it here now. If you get a flag here, sell the flag. Aussie will drop, and then we'll see how far. The bigger picture of Aussie is downside, which means this could be the flat of its own, or they could be making a bigger flat, which means when this breaks the low here, the chances are it will start to pull back. This might be 1, 2, 3. This might be 1, 2, 3. And we could go back up for a 1, 2, 3 here because this is too huge to be the impulse. Right? That's pretty huge. I don't think that will be the impulse. It could be, but I don't think it's the impulse. So there's a good chance that when it breaks, we're not going to break this low. We're going to still be within this low. It could come all the way to the bottom here and then go back up. So the sell is worth taking. And if it's not doing that, it's going to drop to the bottom here. The idea is for Aussie to come and break this low. Come and break this low and then go back up. We're looking at this pattern. And so far, it's looking very, very good. So we will sell, right? We'll take the sell. So far, I think coming here and then going back, not breaking this low. Coming here, maybe break the low, it doesn't matter. And then go back up there to make this flat seems really, really possible. I think that's liquid. We're no longer going to be using this one. So this one will belong to something in either this one here. Or if you want to put it with one of these, it doesn't matter. We'll figure out which one is better structured for that. Or it could be a standalone on its own. There's a lot of correction in it. So I think there's a high probability of this happening. We come to this low and then we're going back to here. If I'm wrong about that and this is the flat, with this big one here that is, just part of it, then we will go all the way to this top. But I still think we're in the correction. So let it come here, look for the sell to the bottom there, and then we're going to be buying it. This could be a trade that could complete itself today or this week. If not today, this week. That is only 248 pips. We're definitely completing that move this week. So if not today, within the week, we'll get that. New Zealand. Okay, New Zealand was a sell setup. Let's go here. That was on Friday. It's not this one here. It's actually this one. That piece where this is. This was for the news. So if you got tagged, there's a lot of time for you to exit the trade. Take it off. Right? We were trading a little away from that one when it was here for the drop. The line will tell you where we were trading. So take that out. We're actually, I would probably be looking for a running flat here. Let's say in the 15. Do we have a running flat? Well, it depends how you look at it. There's a lot of pieces here to go with. So you could go with this as one, then you could go with this as one. I'd probably put this as a one of its own. If this is real, this is the low, this is upside. So that's the first piece of a possible flat forming here. If you get this, take it. If I'm wrong and this one is it, or this one is it, whichever one you go with, this would drop. If not, it's going to come here and go back up. All of them have a down and upside, right? So the sells are really risky, but you will have to get out really fast. Even the ones that we have the sells on, like Aussie and like Euro, you would have to get out really fast. If you get the sell on the gold, it might be the same thing, right? So there's a sell setup here for aggressive traders, but it might just come here and go back up. Now, better yet is if this goes a little higher. So this is an aggressive sell. It might just come to the low and go back up, because this might be the first piece in a possible flat here for downside. The bigger picture is still downside, right? I don't think this one is going to go back up. We broke that low already, and this is a big pullback, but I think that bigger flat is enough to make this drop it to the bottom. A very similar structure to Aussie. Come break this low and then go back up. I think this one is crystal clear. And I don't think this one it doesn't have that big piece here that we were looking like. Aussie has that sharp move there. This one doesn't have it. This one is clear, sharp move up, consolidation, go back there, come back here, and then go. So this is crystal. We're either going to stop here and come back down, or it's going to come here as a three-wave structure. Now, I'm more inclined to believe we'll just get there and then come back like this, down again, and then go back up. So let's get that trade to the bottom here this week. That's this week's trading, and as a couple hundred pips, you could get about 4 or 5 trades in it. 335 pips, I think we could get that in about 4 or 5 trades, and that would be good. All right, so go to the 1 hour. This might be your first trade. Keep a bigger stop. Keep a bigger stop above here. So we'll go with that trade. That's a sell setup. CAD. So we were trying to think CAD would drop from here, but it did go up. And now if we get a flag, we don't have a flag here, but if we get a flag, we'll go for the sell. Can CAD go up more? Yes, we don't have a buy setup. Don't try to buy CAD at the top here. Let it break out of this structure, and then we'll consider the buy. We expect this to go up here, but it can come back here a number of times before it goes, right? I'm not sure this thing is completed, but if we give it a really good flat here, we'll consider the buy. So if this turns out and it makes a really nice flat at the top there, we'll go with the buy, because we'll go with this as the flat, and we will go with all of these as separate flats, right? And then the buy would make sense. So we'll go with this buy for that piece. Now, if everything structured themselves for a sell on gold, on euro, pound, gold, silver, everything, then this might become a buy. We'll see it. I don't like the buyers yet. Let's wait. So we'll take that off. Swiss, we're trying to buy it. Didn't go. It didn't break out. It actually dropped. We were thinking this would be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and go back up. It came deeper. They made a flag. If you wanted to sell it, that was a good choice. It's making another flag here. Probably go back up, maybe come here and go back up, and then this will become a sell. But in all, I think it will become a correction for upside. So take this out. Take off the buy. We don't have a buy as yet. Actually, it's more of a sell setup. This is just one impulse down. Take that out. If you look at the bigger picture, 1 hour, we're expecting a pullback. Why? Oh, at this point, good. So at this point, this has to tell us whether we're coming to the top here or whether we're going back to retest the low. If we're going to buy this, we definitely need a good flag or a good flat. And I think that is one of 2 things that's going to happen here. This is start dropping, or we're going to make a good flat. Now, here's the question. If we think euro, pound, silver, all could go down back, right? If they can go, we don't know how far they're going, but if they're going to drop the go break, let's say Aussie's going to drop the break the low, then this would have most likely have to go up if it's a dollar movement. If it's not a dollar movement, Aussie drop on its own, or this moves on its own, right? But not both of them moving at the same time. So if we get 2 sell setups, you take both of them. One of them would be correct. One might not go anywhere. I don't think this is ready to drop. Even if it's a sell, they'll probably make a bigger flat here. And then we'll go with the sell. Now, if it comes back to the top, wait for this, and then upside. This would be the perfect flat for the buy. If we get that flat set up this week, that would be the perfect trade for the buy. Here is a smaller version of that. Here is a bigger version of that, the one we are expecting here. So let's see what it gives us. We don't have anything right now. I wouldn't sell this by itself. It doesn't make sense. So we'll wait on that trade. Yen setting up for upside. We're coming down, so it's probably going to be more of a flat. This is not going to happen now. This dropping, and there's a flat forming here. This comes back here. It makes a flat. It's probably going to drop again like this. We're coming to this low. And if all of this is the correction in this one, then we need to go back up, come back here, break the top, and then drop. Right, the way I see it. Now, could this be the top when we are going down slowly? That's possible, but it's going down really slow. So right now what you have is a flat forming here for a sell setup. Take this out. I don't think that is going to go very far because all the consolidation is right here. Probably go like this and then come here. Maybe start another one. Right? Come here. Start another one. Come here. And then go back up like this. Come back like this. We'll get a perfect flat here. So let's wait and see. We can sell this if we get a better sell from the top coming down. If not, just leave it. You're in New Zealand? Okay, so we're the top. We haven't got this one, right? So let's assume this is a correction of its own. It's at the top of this structure, the bigger structure where we think this thing should come down. All right, so at this point, this looks more like a 1, 2, 3 for downside. I don't see this as the impulse starting for the upside because we had sharper moves here that came down. So at some point, this thing will come down. If we get a buy setup, we'll take it, but with a lot of caution. But any sell setup you get, we'll go for it. Right now, we don't have any sell setup. We have a buy setup. This is the more of a running flat forming here for upside. So if you want to take the running flat, we broke this top, we can ignore it. We're going to go break that top. So if you want to take that running flat for upside, it's a pretty risky trade, but it's a trade. You could get 1, 2, 3. You could get 1, 2, 3, one more up. If we get a really good flag here and you want to take the risk, you can go, you'll probably get break even out of it. So if it makes a flag here in the 15 minutes and you take this straight up, it will break that top, that's for sure. But then when it breaks the top, it can start to drop. So you'd have to get out, you have to be able to get out for break even on that trade. If you can't get out for break even, then it's not worth taking. Of course, if the trade go, that's a trade you're looking for. But you have to be aware of the danger of where you need to get out should it not go. So if you can get break even out of that, how much pips is it? From here to the top, it's only 20 pips. 20 pips can give you break even if you're good. Right? You can get out. If you can't get out, then just leave it alone. Because this looks very much like a big running flat. Now, should this come downwards, we will be looking for a running flat for the sell. Let's say this is the top. Right? As if these are just smaller flags of their own. And this is the top and we're coming down. Now, this is a deep pullback. I don't normally expect a deep pullback on the way down, but if this works its way down like this and do that, that would become a sell setup. Only then we will change to the sell. And any sell setup we get, we will take. Right? Once it's a sell setup, we'll take it. The buy is your choice. You have to be able to get out. But the sell will definitely take. So it's both ways. I'll leave it like it is. Euro Swiss, sell setup. This one is coming back. Where to? Let's see. The bigger picture is still upside, but we have this sharp one that we didn't get. This was the buy. We got that. We need this one. We haven't got anything to match this as yet. And there's a possibility this one could be that before this goes back up. All right, there's a chance. We're still trying to get to that point. Why? Let's see. Oh, we're trying to get there for some bigger flat. Oh, this flat. I see. So we're trying to get to this point. So this arrow started from here, trying to go up to that, and we are going. It's going really good, but with a lot of deep pullback. This deep pullback, and there's another deep pullback here to get. This one had a lot of pullback in it as well. Very, very deep pullback. So this should pull back here and then go finish this move here. Let's see if we're getting a sell setup. Well, it's not a setup as yet, but it's pulling back. So if it should make a flat here, if this thing should stop and make a flat here or so, we could sell this. Let's wait, see if we get a flat, then it's a sell setup. So we're looking for a sell setup. The buy setup was on this one last week, which, by the way, we got. Those of you who were in the trade with us last week when we traded Swiss News, that was a good trade we got. Euro yen. Okay, so all the yen pairs did come back to the top, and that was the thing that didn't fit for most of the sells. We got some, but not some. If this stays here and make a correction, we're selling. Anything under here with a flag is a sell. So if we get a flag here, we'll go for the sell. I think we should look for the sell setup. Keep an eye on this, consolidating. This is the 1 hour, so the 15 minutes is already pretty big, right? But it's still early. Pretty big, but it's still early. These are two sharp moves, and now we're doing it. So it will probably give us some more, and then it's a sell setup. This time we hope it drops a lot, right? Because in the big picture, that could be the point from where it dropped, right? Anywhere from the top there, we're looking for a move back to the bottom here. So that's a big move to come. And that could be the point from where it dropped. There's no top point because we already broke this one. This is the move we're looking for downwards, right? And we already broke the top of that. Now, it may or may not tag that top. That is irrelevant. It's only relevant in the term of the bigger running flat picture. But for this, we're at a turning point with a lot of divergence in play. I mean, a lot of divergence in play. So go back to the 1 hour. If we get any sell setup here, we're taking it. We'll pull it. I'll pull the trend line like this to see if it's a bigger correction. All right, we want to make sure we break through this, but from there to here, it's still a good trade. All right, so if it's making a flag here to come back like this or like this downwards, we still have a good trade because from this point here, that is at 250 pips. So there's a trade, there's a lot of trades to go there. And then if it breaks through as we think it should, this would be the trade we're coming for. So go to the 15, take the trade. We're looking for a sell setup. Euro CAD. Okay, that was the buy. Take it off. It didn't go. It still will probably go, but it hasn't gone. So we got the downside. We're going to get the upside, right? So this pattern played out very well for us. Not the way we expect, but it played out well. You did get 1, you get 2, you get 3. This piece was a little confusing. But now we're here. And this is not looking upside. Right? This needs to go up a lot more before it starts looking upside, right? It needs to do this. Come back here, and then that is the buy. If we get this flat, we're definitely buying. We bought this small one, but it didn't go. That's okay. You always don't expect the small ones to go, but if you get a bigger one, that would be a good trade. This would be one single trade. You'll get it. So look for the buy setup. Okay, for those of you on YouTube, if you would like the remaining of all of these things, please join us live. We do them every day, 3-4 times a day. Sometimes it goes up to 5 and 6 times. I think Friday we were in the room 5 times. I personally was in the room 5 times, especially when there are news events. We're in the room more often. So you can join us. I'm going to go through some of these, and I'm going to do some of the cryptocurrencies for you so you have an idea of what we do. Natural gas. So we made a new low. It actually came lower. Take this off. And that means we'll have to relook at how we look at this structure, right? We're still in the correction. This is still part of that correction downwards, which would be this piece. We're still in this correction coming down. I'll just put this piece alone, right? We still haven't got any of these pieces in it. So if this is one piece as a 1, 2, 3, we still have to go up. So we still have to get this one up. I'll put it as a bigger one, like that. We still have to get that up. That would be this one. Let me take this off. Then I'll use that one there. We'll put this on later on. We still have to get the down move, which I have to move all of these like this. So we still have to get this down move, which would be the equivalent of this one. And we still have to get that up move, which would be the equivalent of this one. Right? And then from there, we can get the downside. So this still has to go up. This could come down more. There's no point to where it can come, right? It can come all the way to the bottom here. So this could work its way down some more here. Probably do this and drop and, do this and drop and do this and drop. And we could be in this for a while. And then we'll go up for this one. That would be the first one here. We'll come down for this one. That would be the second one here. And we'll go up for this one. It will be third one. So when this is finished, we're looking for those moves. If you don't get any of the move to the upside, always take the sells. So ignore the move to the upsides if you can get them. Make sure you get the sells when they're happening. So I'll just put this back like this. It's irrelevant. You can actually put a line just to know where the low is. So you can put a line like this because we're still waiting for this to finish. All right, and I'd still see this dropping one more. I think there's a good chance this here will drop one more. Looks more like a flag. All right, looks like it could drop one more. We'll just let it drop. I'd still have to move all of this again. More like this. And more like that. We might have to keep moving them depending on how much this goes to the low. Can we sell that? I don't think it's a great idea. But if you think you can get a trade, go ahead. So we'll take this out for now. Sell setup, that has not changed. It didn't tag you. Go back here, put the sell under the low here, and wait for it to break the top. It needs to break that top first and then drop. It has become a really good sell setup now. You don't want to miss it. US 30. Okay, this dropped now. We wanted it to drop earlier, it went up. Now it's dropping. So you've got this flat here that is the big flat at the top for a buy setup. Instead, it dropped that much. Anyway, this would have been a sell if you were there. All we have to do now is wait for any sell setup. What's the bigger picture? So the bigger picture means we're looking for one like this. See the very similar, the flat there and the drop? It could be that this would be a running flat. The possibility of this being a running flat is pretty high. So the first trade we should look for is a trade coming back to the low here and then going up, right? If we get a sell setup, we can take it with a lot of caution. Now, can this be the top of the move and we're totally dropping from there? In the big picture, can that be a top when we totally drop? Sure. That is possible, right? We could even repeat something like this coming down, because remember, this big flat in there is still open to a possible running flat, right? It's in this structure. And if it's in that structure, we always consider a possibility for a running flat. So at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if we repeat a very similar move like this here, and then all of that becomes one big correction for upside. Do we have divergence? We do. That has not gone anywhere, right? Divergence is still there. So that means that possibility is still open. Come back to the 1 hour. If we get sell setups, we'll take it. Any sell setup we get, we'll take the trade. So do we have a sell setup here? Not as yet. Let it make a flat or a flag, something similar to this or something similar to that. And then we go for a sell. We don't have a buy setup anymore, so we'll look for sell setups. S&P 500, this still has buy setups. Structurally, this still is a buy. It can drop more, but it's still a buy. 4 hour, let's see what we have. This thing can go up more. Daily. We're still in the uptrend, and it doesn't have any structure whereby it has, there's some divergence here. I think we can see the daily divergence, which means we're going to get 4 hour and 1 hour divergence. But there's no specific reason why this has to come back. There's no big flat in here, right? We got some corrections, but it's not a big flat like we have on the US 30. So this could pull back and then go, or it could just continue to go, which means if we got buy setup, we stay with it. We have a buy setup here. Similar to this one, you're getting that one there. So that's a buy setup. Structurally, it's the same move, same setup, put the buy, leave it. So take this out. We're looking for a buy setup. Can it come lower? I think it will come lower. I can already see this piece looking like a sell, right? This piece here looking at the worst thing you're going to do is try to sell this at the bottom here, because all it needs to do is come tag you here and then go back and do that. So for us, this is a buy setup above this last impulse. If you get the buy from the bottom, that would be amazing, right? If you get a buy from the bottom, take it. So that's an active buy. And NASDAQ. Okay, we were trying to sell it. If you sold this, we closed it, and then the sell was if this one was going to drop, instead it go back up. So let's see what we have here. What we have here is a consolidation, right? You have 1, 2, 3, and this is here. So this piece is consolidating in this one, right? Kind of do this, come back here, go there, you get this consolidation, that would be up. And if all of that is in this, it should come back down, and then we should get this. So a flat like that is what we're likely going to get, which means the next couple of days we're going to be in here. If you get setups that you can trade in there, good. If you can, then let that happen and then look for the upside. What's the bigger picture? Can it be downside? Can this come lower and make a downside? Possible. Right? See that big flat at the top there? We can repeat something similar there and then come back for this one. Again, not necessarily that that's going to happen. There's no big flat in this, but it could, especially if you have divergence. Yeah, we do. So what we would look for here, go back on the 4 hour, is to see whether we're doing this flat here, this kind of flat, or if we're trying to. I think we already agreed that this could be its flat on its own, but there's a good chance we're still in this flat. So if you look at this as a 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3 for this flat, and the chances are we're trying to do this. So this is trying to come back here and then go. Let's assume that is what they're doing. Take this off. This flat would have to happen on the lower side. So this will have to come down, go back up like this, make this flat, and then we're looking for a sell setup. So if we see this flat, if it goes back to the top, it's a buy. If it comes down to the bottom, it's a sell. So we needed to go back up and then look for the sell. If it comes to the top, we needed to come back down and then look for the buy. Pretty easy. Let's wait to see which one comes. Right? So we take this off, both sides possible, we wait for that. And this also, we didn't break the top. That is not good. We want this thing to break the top before it turns. It turned before it broke the top. And that is a little risky for us now. The sell would have been perfect if we broke the top and then come. Right? If this thing had gone, break the top and then drop, that would be a perfect sell setup. Now that we haven't broken the top, let's see what we're looking at. We're still in this. I still think we're still in this. So we haven't got this as yet, and that's the one we're looking for. Can we go with that as a contracting flat? Let's say, for example, take this as a contracting flat. Running flat, sorry. Maybe, maybe not. Can we go this one as a running flat? Contracting flat, that would be contracting, sorry, my fault. It's possible. Let's just stick with this one. There's a series of sharp moves here that are not clear, so we're going to put all of them like this for now. And then if we see the change in the structure, we'll go. The bigger picture of this is downside, right? We'll show you that in the sell this. If we get a sell setup, we'll take it. Right? So we're looking for a sell setup. And if we get, if it stays here as a flag, sell that one. This was a good buy. Let's see if we get a good sell there. We're looking for a sell setup. Go back to the daily or the 4 hour. The bigger picture of this whole structure is downside, right? Right now, we're just consolidating here. We might even go back up one more, but then the big picture is this move to the downside. Now, you can trade in here for the next 6 months before you even get this happen. I'm looking at a daily structure. Each one of these candles was a day. So right now, we're going to look at this one, look for a sell setup. Let's see if we get that. Let's see what Tesla is doing. I'll just finish these and then go. Tesla, look for the buy setup. Put your entry above the top if you get a flag here buying. Oh, somebody was asking me in YouTube whether I should look for Tesla. I don't know if it's downside or, oh. I think the question is, why did I think when it comes back here, it should go down? Because this is the way we look at the pattern, right? I think I sent this pattern to the person, but if I didn't, this is what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. A more complex pattern. Now, I think the way he was looking at it was, this is 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2, 3, and this should go. Now, it's not incorrect. I wouldn't say that is incorrect. That is possible. But because the way I look at patterns, I'm looking for the most corrective structure to be the core correction. And I think so far, this is the core correction. All right, so if that's a core correction, this one would probably come here. Now, here's the thing, we're buying here, right? Like we bought here. Remember, we bought here and we closed that trade? We're buying here. And if this becomes one of that, we'll close the trade. If it takes off to the top, at this point, we'll move our entry orders to take the trade out. And should it reverse, we'll get that. We'll be out and we'll be selling. If not, it goes up. Well, good for me. I'm still in the trade. Right? We wouldn't close the trade. We'll just move the stops. Because this is a long-term trade. This trade, we don't trade on smaller term, longer term, right? And you can see this is all it's come, and then it's going to come back down like this. So Tesla is not going anywhere so far. It's not making this big move to the upside. If people think that is so, they're wrong, right? It dropped here, and Tesla is going to come and retest this low again. Once it gets to the top, there's going to come back here, retest that low. It might even go lower. So Tesla could get back to this range. Now go tell Elon Musk I said that, and then he can come argue with me, right? Because that's what is going to happen. You can take snapshots of this, and you're going to see a similar move, a bigger correction in here. Maybe it stays here much longer than I think it should stay. Sometimes this correction get really, really huge coming here all the time here. Like instead of this coming and drop immediately, this one goes there, make another flag, and go there, make another one, and then come here, make another one, go there, and then come back here, right? And then go back there, and then come back here, making it more complex. Right? We have seen that in the Aussie, New Zealand. I've shown you that where we thought Aussie, New Zealand, oh, this was perfect. It's just going to do this, and go. 6 years after, we're still in the correction. This was the first year that we were trading it, right? We thought, oh, perfect. It's a nice 1 year correction. It's going to go. 6 years after, I think it's more than 6 years. It's still in the correction. It still hasn't leave that range. And the range is this range. Aussie, New Zealand is still in that range. So let me just show that for traders who have never seen it and don't understand wave analysis. Let me see if I can pull this up really quick for them. Aussie, New Zealand. Aussie, New Zealand. So you see the range? This range, when it was here, very similar to what Tesla has, right? Like this 1, 2, 3 down here, go back to the top, and then this, we were expecting this move, and we thought this would go out because this was all the correction we were going to get. I'd see this thing drop here. See that big flat? We dropped, we broke the low, we started to go back up. So when I was trading, I looked at this and I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, and this is going to go. Perfect. That's all you needed. That was a perfect flat. This was the trade we were looking for. How many years passed since then? Let's take a look. This one, I'll take from this point. This one here was in March 16. Oh yeah, we were 24. So not 6 years, 8 years passed. 8 years passed and we're still consolidating in this range. We still haven't left the range. We're still in it. How much years more we're going to be in it? Well, a while more, let's put it that way. Because we still cannot finish this range here. We're still in this one here, and we're in this one for since when? This is started in, well, this started in November. Sorry, this here, this is when? November, it can be November 24. Let me just get everything correct. This point, this here. December 22. Right, this started December 22. So that's 2 years is going to be December coming will be 2 years. We'll still be in that thing. So and this is the small one. This one I thought would finish really fast, right? Like 1, 2, 3 and drop. But we're still in 2. We're still in 2, and that is okay. That's part of our wave analysis work. It becomes really complex. So let's come back to Tesla. Eventually, it's going to do what you want it to do. But how complex this piece could be here for the next 10 years, who knows? Maybe that's all Tesla does. It stays in this range for the next 10 years, which means nothing good or nothing bad happens to the company. Right? It's just a normal company, you know, doing their thing, making money. Every time they build some profit, they get a spike. Every time they start out of profit, they get a little downside. I don't know how that works. I'm telling you how the chart works, right? So this is what we expect. Now, this is the simple version, and you always start with a simple version. I'm not going to draw a 6-year correction version here. I'll start with the simple one, and then we'll see how that progresses. Right? That's how wave analysis works. You start with the very simple, and as it progresses, you can see each piece that is coming next. And you're more keen on the next piece because that's your trade for the day. None of us are investors. We're not investing in Tesla for the next 10 years. We're investing in Tesla for the next 10 days, which means I want this trade to go today or tomorrow or within a week or two, and then I'm out of it. We're not invested in the long term in it. So if I get a buy here, I want it to go out today or tomorrow or 2 days from now. I should be out of that structure with profit. That's it. Let's move on. Let's go. Okay, we're at the top here now. That was the look for a sell setup from the top there. Yep, either as a pullback, or as a total drop. Look for a sell setup. Do we have a sell setup? Nope. If you get another buy, you can go with it. If this makes another flat here, if it comes here and come back here, then that would be a buy. If it comes lower and then go back up, that's a sell setup. Go with the sell. The buy is maybe, but go with the sell. Okay, this is a buy setup. We have the sharp one. Don't buy at the top there. Let it pull back. Let this do whatever it's doing here and pull back like this, and then you can look for a buy setup from here. That would be the best buy. And this. Okay, we broke the top. We dropped. We're getting sell setups. This is a sell setup. This here is a sell setup. Let it go a little more and drop. That's your sell. So this one, look for a sell setup. And Nifty. Yep, it's going back up. Be careful here, though. If you took the trade, take it off. Let's see. This, I still think they're trying to go back up. So wait for a flat, wait for another flat, buy the flat. It's going up really slow. This one, I mean, this one came down fast. This up move wasn't really fast. So there were a lot of pullback in it. So just monitor the trade, get in, get out, and see how far it goes. Okay, guys, that's it. Let's go with Bitcoin. I'm going to do 3 or 4 of the cryptos, and you would get an idea. So this is more like a 1, 2, 3. The way I see it is this is doing a 1, 2, 3 here. More like that structure. So we are not totally going up as yet. I'll take this out. We broke out of this, but we're not taking off like a rocket. So if they break out and they're not taking off, most likely they're correcting here. And if this turns out to be what I think it is, a 1, 2, 3 correction, we'll probably go there. It could probably come back here and do this. We could stay in this for, and the longer you stay here, the more you're going to come back one more. So it's going to be like a 1, 2, 3, and then upside. Or can it be a 1, 2, 3, and then downside? Remember, we broke the top. Now, when they break the top, sometimes they go break it a second time, right? Let's go to the daily. This one broke the top, came back here, and then went and broke the top again before it dropped. Now, this is the illusion. This is what you call the illusion that now it's going to go. So traders who missed out all the time saw this going back up, and jumped into the trade somewhere here. Okay, I want to get it to 200,000. Why should I not? I think we know what happens to you at that point. So the same thing here. We broke the top. Can they go and break the top again and then drop? That is a possibility. Right? It can go back, break the top, but we'll likely see divergence. Now, right now, this is not going up as fast enough as I would think it's going to break the top. If for whatever reason you get a flag above here, take that flag, but with caution that when you break this top, it can tank. So every trade, every buy at the top here has to be really, really careful. The risk is too high. If you're an investor, you definitely don't want to buy at the top here. Like if you're trying to keep Bitcoin for long term, have some patience and wait for it to come back because it will come back. If you're a day trader, yeah, that's a good buy. You can buy it here, close it here. Right? Basically, if you're a day trader, if you get a sell setup, it's the same thing. You can sell it. You can sell it here, close it here. So day traders, you're looking for the next possible trade. And right now, we don't have any possible trade on it. There's no setup to trade. I would let it break this top and then see if it's consolidating or if it's dropping. Then we'll have a trade. Right? We're still in the consolidation. Ethereum, same thing. Right? You can see that this one make a sharp move, it pull back here, and you're consolidating here. So this would probably drop here, go back there, and then drop because you're in this move coming down. And if you consolidate here, you're going to drop. So there's no buy or sell setup, and this is the moment. XRP, same here. See, this one was supposed to go, it didn't go. If it doesn't go, then it's telling us it's not going anywhere. It's just consolidating here. Drop here, go back up, make a flat, and drop. They all have the same structure. So they're all likely to go down more. Do I think this is going to go down? Well, we had it to break the top and go down. So you see, this is the consolidation you're looking at. Now, if you take this out, see that consolidation when this dropped, that pulled back to the top here and then drop. That's similar to what we're looking at right now. Now, I don't think it's going to pull back deep because the move is more like this one going down. See that pull back there and then drop? Pretty much what we're trying to do here. Get a pull back here and then drop to the bottom here. Now, from this point is where you want to start buying XRP. So when it gets to this point, beyond that low, if and when this thing does what we think it's going to do and it comes to this point here, somewhere here is where you start looking for your buy setups to go retest that top. Now, it may take a while because you see this one had a big flat here before they go. So it may take a while. It might come here and start to do things like this and then eventually go. That is okay. We'll figure it out. If you're long-term, you're getting here, that's much better. Now, can it break this low and then go? That would be even more amazing. I'm not expecting that to happen, but should that happen, that would be more amazing because now we'll be looking at it this way. We'll look at this as a 1, 2, 3, and we will get this move up. So there's still a move up here to complete this one, after which we still come back here before we go. We still come back here before we get to this top. So anybody who thinks these things are going to take off like a rocket and give you $1 million very soon, not going to happen. This consolidation could stay for a long time. It needs to stay at the bottom here much longer before you can go up. The accumulation phase is here. Right, this is the accumulation phase. That is where you need this. These are sell-offs that are going to happen to bring it back here and then accumulate here to go. So there's a good chance we will come back and stay at the bottom there for a while. See this? This was the accumulation phase for that move up. So when you buy enough here, you can put it to the top there and then sell off. So let's see. Okay, well, that's it. The rest of them, if you want them, join us live, you'll get it. Right? It's the same thing. We do the analysis. You like it, we trade you. In the live sessions, we trade. We actually take the trade and we do follow up to them. Should we stay in the trade? Should we close the trade? All of those you get if you join us live. Thank you very much to my YouTube viewers. If you like it, share it, click a like, leave your comments. All right? And trade with care the whole week. See you next week. Take care. Bye.